Welcome back to Coach's Corner East. We're live at the Pizza Hut here in Galleon on this 15th of December. A little bit, a week and a half before Christmas season hits us. And we're glad to have you aboard on this Wednesday night. Our show is brought to you in part by Lee Plymouth and Brad Seibert at the Plymouth Insurance Group, Galleon and Bucyrus, North Central State College, Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center, North Walnut Street, across from the courthouse in Bucyrus. Phil and Sue Schreck at Phil's Deli, just east of Pizza Hut at the bridge in Galleon. Welcome to the microphone, head girls basketball coach from Crestline High School. It's Lance Hood, and Coach, welcome back. Good to see you again. It's been a while since our first meeting, and
yes, sir.
A lot has transpired since then, and hasn't translated to wins yet, but I'm sure you're working towards that. 0-6 overall, 0-2 in the MBC, and look way back to November 19th, your opening game against Galleon, and fell 45-29. Kennedy Sipes, 12 points, 4 rebounds. Junior Maddie Engler, 7 points. Junior Brooklyn Gregory, 5. Senior Emma Kirby, 3. And sophomore Ellie Miller had 2. And a comment that you'd made to the Galleon Inquirer, you said, "I'm proud of these girls for fighting. We need a couple more to get a little more aggressive with the basketball." What did you mean by that?
Right now, to say that is, I think we're afraid to go inside. And what I mean by that is we'd rather shoot the ball outside than to draw contact on the inside. That night we were a little bit different. We didn't just settle for the outside shot in the beginning. We actually went to the basket, and I think we've just gotten comfortable with no contact. It's just something that we have to work on to get better. Our numbers aren't the greatest, so we don't get the chance to scrimmage all the time.
Right.
So that has been a hindrance to us at this point.
Mm-hmm. So it's a mindset kind of thing, then?
It's definitely a mindset type of thing. I mean, I will tell anybody to the moon, I have the greatest girls in the world. You know, great students. I don't ever get calls about them. It's just like when we show up to practice, nothing has happened. Coach King has nothing to tell me about their behavior in school.
Good.
But, you know, we need to get more aggressive as a team. We need to get very aggressive and in attack mode. A lot right now is people are trying to trap us and do things like that. And, you know, we've gotten away from what we were taught to begin the season. And I think we have to just go back to the drawing board on a consistent basis and retool things.
Sure, good point. Monday the 29th of November, lost to Temple Christian 45-21. A couple nights later on Thursday, the 2nd of December, lost to Ridgedale 49-16. Tough one against a really talented Loudonville team on Saturday the 4th, 64-9. And then, you know, maybe the one that broke the camel's back, so to speak, was Bucyrus, a team that struggled in and of themselves the last few years, came over and beat you 47-18. They forced 36 turnovers. And you had told the Telegraph Forum, "I told my girls they're going to press you until you stand up." It's a bully type thing. And that was kind of where I'm leading. At some point, when you get kind of punched in the mouth or bullied around a little bit, you kind of get this attitude of, you know, I'm fed up with this crap and I'm going to change it. Have you started to see that transformation yet, or not quite yet?
I haven't seen it quite yet. The biggest thing is you gotta understand. This has been a very humbling experience for me
I'm sure.
as a person, because I am as competitive as they come. I mean, like, in ways I can't even describe. I'm very competitive, and to see my girls kind of, you know, back away from a challenge, it really kind of bothered me. Now we're trying to address this issue, and I'll be honest, it's a mindset thing more than anything. You know, and I think what I said was I respected I'd do it too. When I said that to the Bucyrus Telegraph, you know, if I see a weakness in somebody, I'm going to exploit it. And they found a weakness, they exploited it. Hats off to them. Do I think they were 30 points better? No, I don't. I think that, you know, we've gone back to the drawing board and practice working on things that probably you would work on with a younger team. But, you know, there's a lot of catching up to do in Crestline with a mentality, with skill sets, you know, and a lot of my girls have never played high school basketball.
Right.
That's what people need to understand. It's like, you know, I commend those who came out that have never played high school basketball.
Absolutely.
But the whole thing is we just have to we have to learn how to trust in what we're being taught and try our best to execute it, and that's the only way we can get better.
No question about it. Kennedy Sipes had a really nice game in that one against Bucyrus. Again, 11 points, 4 steals, 3 rebounds. Ayana Hood, is that right? Ayana?
Ayana Horn, yeah.
Horn or?
Horn.
I'm sorry, I put Hood. I was probably thinking you, and I typed it wrong. Ayana Horn, 4 points, 4 rebounds. Brooklyn Gregory, Ellie Miller, Maddie Engler all chipped in 1 point each. And, you know, I know being in the media, when you talk to coaches, things are said in the heat of the moment and maybe when emotions are fresh. And I found the comment intriguing where you said, have your fun for the next couple of years, because when I grows up, I'm going to return the favor tenfold. And I'm sure you meant that at the time. Do you ever think about, well, man, I shouldn't have said that, or you feel comfortable in what you said?
I'm going to be real with you.
Yeah, that's all I expect.
When I say it out my mouth, I mean, I'm thinking it, I feel it. You know, yeah, have your fun. Take your shots now. Mm-hmm. Never underestimate that I'm going to the laboratory and I'm about to work on this. You have to understand this. And I don't like talking about my high school career, but I'm just going to put it out there. I never lost an area game. I don't know what that feels like as a player. Mm-hmm. I can't even relate to my players. I never lost a home game. I never lost an area game. Mm-hmm. And the things Greg Collins taught me, I'm going to implement that and all the stuff I learned from junior college in my brief stint before I got hurt in Division I. So I'm saying right now, why? Because they're starting to understand what I'm about to bring in the off season. Mm-hmm. So have your fun now and get ready, because I got some hungry young ladies coming up in the younger grades. Mm-hmm. And you have to understand this. I have 36 girls playing basketball from 1st to 6th grade, and that's a lot of girls in that area.
Sure.
So, and I demanded that the coaches had varsity experience at least if they were going to coach our girls. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying, take your shots now. I got every date circled, and that's just what it's going to be.
Well, I appreciate your honesty and your transparency and the emotion of it, and backing it up and not shying away from it. And thank you for that. I hope I didn't step outside of where I should have been, but I'm just kind of curious about it.
I mean, because at the end of the day, look, I'm a competitor. I am the most competitive person I know. The only two people I think are as competitive as I once was as athletes is Jordan and Kobe. Mm-hmm. And I don't compare myself on the skill level. I'm saying I'll go to that level. Mm-hmm. I mean, right now I'm studying for a master's and I'm going for my PhD. Why? Because my dad told me, if I got a master's and you got a master's, you know, you need to be seeking better. And that's the mentality I've been raised with. Good. So with these girls, I'm going to channel that into them. And that's what it's going to be.
Perfect. Very good. I would take a moment to take a break here. Our show is brought to you in part by Steve Kurtzman and Associates at Innovative Recycling, 352 South Street, Gallion. Candy Bolin at Bolin Realty, 2 blocks west of the Uptown Gallion Square. John Cross at Cross Carpet and Custom Floors, 302 North Seltzer Street, downtown Crestline. Coming back to the games last Saturday, lost to Lucas 58-19, a team that's been pretty talented over the years. And I can't remember, was that at your place or down there?
It was down in the Cub Cave.
Yeah, which is a tough place to play. What did you see out of them? Anything that surprised you out of Lucas, or pretty much as advertised?
No, biggest thing, they got Shelby Grover, and when I was coaching with Roy Shoulders, you know, Coach Grover and Coach Shoulders used to talk, and Coach Shoulders used to say in the locker room, like, the Grover girls work out, the Grover girls do this. You know, when you face somebody that's a 3-sport All-Ohioan, and, you know, for me at 16, if I heard you were All-Ohio, you had to prove it. Mm-hmm. You had to prove it the whole game. If I wasn't going to beat you skill-wise, you know, the 90s and 2000s was much more physical, yes. Then I was going to check your heart. Mm-hmm. For us, you know, we're not at that point yet where we're thinking like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, with that, you know, once she got kind of hot, some of us got kind of discouraged, and this is something we have to work through, you know, and it's just a mindset. I think, like I said, You ask me, would I rather coach any other girls in the country? Probably not, because I have the best behaved girls I have ever met. As far as, actually like being around, they're very well behaved. But, the thing we need to get to is that relentlessness.
Yeah, sure.
Relentlessness that, I played with, that a lot of other teams are trying to play with. We have to learn how to embody that. And that's going to take some time.
Now, let me ask you this. From the moment you started the season in coaching to where they are now, have you seen some improvement in that?
I've seen some improvement. I've seen some improvement. And it's coming from the people who, primarily have never played before with that mentality. And that's a good thing. But we need everybody to have that kind of, that kind of bulldog spirit.
The Mamba mentality, right?
The Mamba mentality. And, not to be funny or anything like that, I don't like comparing eras. I don't really like ever doing it. But, looking at the way kids are now and the way kids were, in my generation, it's like, it's like night and day, how they receive things, how they take things, and the pride that they play with all the time. Like, there was never, I remember I had to listen to NSYNC to come down. I was not, like, it didn't take me much. It was the fact that you had the audacity to come in my gym was enough to make me want to get at you. And it was the fact that you had the audacity to schedule me and I had to come into your backyard and beat you. That was enough for me. I didn't need any coach to say anything to me. I didn't need anything like that. And you just don't have very many people with that.
Yeah.
It was 12 of us that thought like that. Some of us more than others.
Sure.
I used to tell people I hated playing at home. The idea of people cheering for me made me sick to my stomach. I wanted to be booed. I relished in it. And you don't have people like that.
Right.
But I will say, after the other day, I know the future is bright.
Good.
And, the future is very bright. Now, how fast will the future be able to get the experience we need is going to be how much they work. If they work like they did this past fall, then we'll be fearsome pretty quick.
Yeah. And that's tough because, and I'm not putting everybody in the same box, so to speak, but it's a microwave society. People want instant gratification, instant success, instant results, and it doesn't always work that way, especially with young people.
Well, and here's what I tell people, and I was born with this. My dad taught me this at an early age. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. You're gonna have to take it from them. You're gonna have to go through it. You're gonna have to fight for it. And if you're not willing to go to that level, then you won't have very much success in life unless you just know people who are going to just give it to you, give you what you want. And, for a lot of young millennials, I think that's what they, they expect.
I don't know.
And, I just, like I said, I just really want to help my program understand that we are going to have a nasty bulldog mentality that we're going to fight for everything. And that's the kind of hunger I want.
Great. Good. One more quick little break here. I want to remind everybody our show's brought to you by Terry Gribble and Associates at your Gallion Community Center, YMCA, Dr. Erica Schieber at Bucyrus Veterinary Service, 222 West Mary Street in Bucyrus, Rod Steiger and Associates at Pizza Hut here in Gallion and Bucyrus, our host of the show since 1992, and Lou Ann Krebs at River's Edge Embroidery, Screen Printing and Signs, sponsor of our phone board t-shirts. Appreciate all of our sponsors for this show. Coach, you got some games coming up on the 18th this Saturday. Next three, in fact, on the road at Mansfield Christian on the 18th, a really solid program. What have you seen on them on film that concerns you the most, I would say?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Everything concerns me about them. They are a team that 2 years ago, before St. Peter's leading scorer went down, they weren't very good. And now in the last 2 years, they've emerged.
Right.
And I respect that. I love that. And I love seeing that, because that makes me understand where we're trying to go. So anytime I get a chance to play them, Loudonville, as a person, I'm excited. I know that sounds crazy to people.
No, I get it.
I'm excited because I want, like, I'm the type of person, like, I'll give you a perfect example. On December 10th, 30 years ago, I lost a YMCA game 73-1.
Oh, boy.
And it resonated because it made me who I was. And I'm talking about my older brother did some dirty stuff to me. Like I loved his hats growing up. And that night after we lost 73-1, he didn't even let me get out the door before he took it from me. So that was in my memory bank. Mm-hmm. The next year we lost to the team by like 30. The year after we beat them. Mm. And they were always circled. And and that's what I like. I like the idea. I want these whoopings. So do what you want to make yourself feel good, but you're not dealing with a person that gets discouraged. Mm. I pulled myself from the bootlaces of, hard work and dedication to get to a Division I school. I didn't have an overly great high school career. I did what I needed to do. I fought and clawed from the bottom to the top. So, I'm trying to teach and make my team understand that all this playing experience is going to help later, especially if we work during the off season. So I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited to play them. I'm excited to play Central Christian. I'm excited to play Mount Gilead. Mm-hmm. I know Mount Gilead's pretty good. I mean, this is all to me just, I love the game. I get goosebumps. Before the game, I think, now I will say this, there's one underclassman, I'm not going to give her the pleasure of mentioning her name. I think she has the same kind of fire I do, mm-hmm. because I get goosebumps before the game. I get happy, and I want Crestline to get to that point, mm-hmm. where no matter what's in front of us, we're ready to chop the tree down. Mm-hmm. So will we get to that point this season? I don't know, but their coach has that fire.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's fantastic, and you're leading those girls, so you do what they do, and hopefully they get some response, and things will move as we move throughout the season. Well, we'll be talking about progress as we move here in the next few weeks, and I'll be looking forward to having you and some of the girls back, and certainly appreciate you taking the time. And again, I appreciate your honesty and your transparency. That means a lot, and you always bring great insight to it, so I really do appreciate that.
Oh, no problem.
All right, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Hey, coming up on our media schedule, got Ohio State women's basketball going on right now on WQEL. They're taking on Alabama State from Columbus, Ohio. You can catch that game on WQEL 92.7. Free night tomorrow night from a sports standpoint. We have a doubleheader boys basketball coming up on Friday the 17th on WQEL. It'll be Buckeye Central at Seneca East. On WBCO, it'll be the rivalry game. Bucyrus goes over to Winford to take on the Royals. Both tip times approximately 7:30. And then I'll be in for the Friday night phone board at about 9 o'clock. Saturday, we have girls high school basketball during the day. Tip time at approximately 1 o'clock. It'll be Mohawk at Winford taking on the Lady Royals. We'll have high school boys basketball Saturday evening. Seneca East goes to Colonel Crawford. Tip time at approximately 6:30. And I will be in for the Saturday night phone board at around 8 p.m. Sunday the 19th, we have Ohio State women's basketball. They will be out in Los Angeles taking on the Lady Bruins of UCLA. Coverage begins at 7:45. I want to thank everyone here at our Galleon Pizza Hut, especially our managers Bree, Michelle, and Jordan. Ian was our server tonight. I want to thank Danny Lane back in the studio for keeping me on the air. Thank you to Cameron Moon as our camera operator, and Harper Boggs for all she does to help us out each and every week as well. Thank you to Galleon assistant basketball coach Carson Early and Gary Burdine for being here tonight, and members of their team. Thank you to Colonel Crawford girls basketball coach Kyle Fenner and Crestline head girls basketball coach Lance Hood. Thank you to our sponsors, and most of all you who have tuned in on our Facebook Live stream. For WQEL Sports, this has been Mike Sparks reminding you, a spirit with a vision is a dream with a mission. Have a good night, everybody.